It's another sweltering night in Memphis, but not as hot as the 901 FC. They've won 4 games in a row. Welcome to AutoZone Park, where Memphis is on this roll, but Pittsburgh stays steady at 14-4-10. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Voloshin, along with J.J. Greer. We were here in May. Rains came down. They had to cancel the game at the half. Pittsburgh was up 1-0. Bob Lilly was very upset.
Yeah, a lot of rain that night, but no rain tonight. Absolutely beautiful weather. 901 FC has been playing beautiful soccer for the past month, as you said, with that 4-game win streak. And this is really a new look 901 FC team than the team that played in May, with new signings such as Marcus Epps, Brandon Allen, Liam Doyle. 3
key players make it different. The key here, though, is Pittsburgh still has their captain, Nico Brett, biggest goal scorer. However, he's not starting.
Yeah, he won't be starting tonight, but I definitely expect for him to come off the bench. He's Pittsburgh's leading goal scorer with 10 goals. The Jamaican also has 4 assists on the year. He's an extremely productive and active striker, clinical in front of goal, and 901 FC will need to pay really close attention to him tonight.
They'll have to stop him, and the man responsible will be Jeff Caldwell. He had his first clean sheet against St. Louis the other night, first one since August.
Yeah, the 23-year-old New York City FC loanee has been fantastic in front of goal all season, as you see him make a fantastic save there last week against St. Louis. He's got 5 shutouts on the year, and he's a fantastic shot stopper, and his distribution has also been fantastic this year. He's earned the right to be 901 FC's first-choice goalkeeper, and he'll need to make a lot of big saves tonight.
The 901 FC, a lot to play for. They're still chasing a spot in the playoffs. Welcome back to Memphis. This is, by the way, officially the second meeting between these two teams. We had the one that was rained out, so it's sort of a makeup game today. Not as big a crowd as you would normally expect. and really a lot of players not playing in this that you might normally see, because we just had a game on Saturday. This sort of slips in, and that is why 2 or 3 of the key Pittsburgh players, including their 2 leading goal scorers, are not starting tonight.
Yeah, Steven Dos Santos and Nico Brett not in the starting lineup. Also, their captain, Carnado Forbes, not in the starting lineup. I do expect at least probably 2 of those players to make an appearance tonight.
And for Memphis, well, they've got a couple of the big guns out too. But Caldwell, we mentioned how good he has been. And then there's Brandon Allen, who's got 7 goals on the year. He's been involved in almost every goal during this streak.
Yeah, Brandon Allen and Marcus Epps have been absolutely on a tear this past month or so for 901 FC. Cam Lindley will be coming off the bench tonight.
There's the Hall of Famer Bob Lilly, who was so upset they didn't get this game completed in Memphis back in May.
And he had every bit, a right to complain as a coach. There was no way the game could have been played, but this is a new look 901 FC team. It'll be a much tougher challenge tonight for Bob Lilly and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
And then there's Tim Mulqueen, who's got to be so happy that Andrew Ball and that Peter Freund, the owner, have gone out and gotten guys like Brandon Allen and Marcus Epps that you mentioned. By the way, the one game they did play in Pittsburgh, August the 3rd, that was one-sided. That was all Riverhounds, 4-0. Memphis in blue, Pittsburgh in white. We're underway. About 88 degrees outside.
Yeah, fantastic weather tonight as we kick off here. Like I said, as we have some action here, and Jeff Caldwell has to use his head to clear that one.
Played it safe, and they'll take it down into the Pittsburgh zone. The goalie tonight, Austin Pack. Normally you would see Kyle Morton, who's got 10 clean sheets on the year, but he's not playing tonight. They're letting this young man from Atlanta, who was a part of Portland 2 last year, he's got the nod tonight. Again, different lineups because this game was inserted into the middle of the week. Yeah,
different lineup, but it'll still be the business as usual for Bob Lilly and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I think Austin Pack will slide in just fine into this game.
And very quickly, here's Apps. He's a guy from Jackson, Mississippi, on loan from the Red Bulls.
It's good to see Marcus Epps active so early on. I know that ball got a little bit away from him, but it's good to see him take players on.
Here's Liam Doyle. He was not on the 901 FC the last time they played Pittsburgh here either. So you've got Epps, and you've got Allen, and you've got Pierre De Silva. These are major players. Doyle the other that have been added that really make this a more even game. Absolutely.
And, not only are they midseason acquisitions, but now they've got a few games under their belt that they've played together, and they're starting to gel, and, it's showing up in the results. 4 wins in a row. They moved from, at the bottom of the table now towards the middle of the table, so they're continuing to move forward.
Let's take a look at the keys to the match presented by My City Rides. See how much you'll save when you scoot.
First key to the match, physical duels. This is a very physical and powerful Riverhounds team. Don't back down from them. Don't shy away from contact. Impactful restarts. Cam Lindley is not starting in this game, but Mark Birch is fully capable of serving in those fantastic balls, which I expect Josh Morton and Liam Doyle to get on the end of. Transfer the ball forward. This is a very organized Pittsburgh team. Take your chances. Pass the ball forward and take players on.
I think when you got a guy like Brandon Allen transferring that ball forward, makes it a lot easier. Then you got guys off the bench that can still come in like Collier and like Groff.
Absolutely, and this will be a dangerous free kick position here for Mark Birch. You see him standing over that ball. Expect this ball to be whipped in on top of the PK spot.
And that one goes out of danger from Pittsburgh.
It's well done for Marcus Epps to keep that ball in play.
And Birch will control midfield. Pittsburgh is a team that is very patient. They like to be physical. They don't really press unless they have to. They sort of play the way Bob Lilly likes them to. There are some similarities. They're really workers.
Absolutely, and especially away from home. They're not going to really come out of their shell if they don't need to. They'll wait for you to come to them, and then they'll look to win the ball off turnovers and then really counter, and they're extremely efficient going forward. They only need a couple of chances to put the ball in the back of the net.
Metzger sent it back to Sharpie, and here's Caldwell. Memphis very content to play it safe early on, too. A little bit of pressure. Metzger trying to keep it alive.
See how physical the Riverhounds are there. Marcus Epps not able to avoid that pressure from the double team.
Riverhounds 14-4-10, 52 points, and they've scored 21 more goals than the opposition. The 901 FC have gotten a little bit better in that department, 8 points away from the playoffs with 31 now, 12th place, minus 12, but at one point it was way down in the goal differential.
Absolutely, and the past month or so has really, 901 FC has done really well to make a difference in that plus-minus category in terms of goals for and goals against. And this is a Pittsburgh team. Not only are they good offensively, Dave, but they can really put the ball in the back of the net.
Here's Joe Greenspan from New Jersey. Both teams conservative here in the first 4.5 minutes. First opportunity. This is Kerr. He's had 5 goals and 9 assists. He's a man that will create chances for them. Tops in the assist range for the Riverhounds.
Yeah, first in Riverhounds history in assist, and Kevin Kern's been around. As the ball goes out of play, Kevin Kerr's been around this league, the USL Championship, for a long time. He's a veteran. You know, he's their captain, and if you don't pay close attention to Kevin Kerr, he can really hurt you. He's an extremely creative player.
Caldwell taking it nice and slow. It's pretty toasty outside, so you might as well work your way into it.
Absolutely. You know, I expect this game to be pretty slow paced, at least towards the beginning, as these two teams start to feel each other out and start to understand the chessboard a little bit, if you will.
Noah Frankie will send it behind him. This is the Frenchman, Venki Yazil. Possession game so far.
Yeah, this is, you know, something that Pittsburgh is used to doing. They're used to keeping the ball. They're very smart with it. They don't give possession away cheaply as they continue to work the ball around the back line. You see Greenspan and Sammy Kasai get to touch. Todd Pratzner, actually, the former 901 FC player that was signed from Pittsburgh September 18th, excuse me. So
we're talking 6 days ago.
6 days, and already, you know, getting the start against his old club.
Well,
you know,
that's something Bob Lilly has a little psychological thing going there, I believe.
Absolutely. You know, Bob Lilly is the master of mind games. So well done on Todd Pratzner. You know, enjoyed having him play for 901 FC, and he's getting a huge chance tonight with his new club.
So down went Kasai, a little too rough for Memphis. It'll be a Riverhounds ball. Kerr's the playmaker. And Bob Lilly's tactics here. Some people think he doesn't really score. You see, if they don't have the ability to make that quick move inside, they're patient. They'll bring it back. Here was a little change of the possession, and it'll be Memphis ball.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there as Pierre Da Silva gets the foul call, but you could see that Tim Mulqueen on his side, they're also not pressing very high up the field. They're waiting for Pittsburgh to come to them, if you will, and they've got that line of confrontation around the circle at midfield. You saw that foul on Pierre Da Silva, but so far, really a really good chess match so far between these two teams.
Boy, Weston Paul slipped there and then looked for a minute like it could have been trouble. A nifty move by Paul, who says, I got my feet under me. And Doyle tried to advance it. Across to Birch, always steady.
It's well done from Brandon Allen. That was a tricky kind of knuckle ball, entry ball there from Mark Birch, and Brandon Allen took that ball down ever so softly.
Memphis can play the same way. Now Sharpie. Ball goes wide and Birch. Ooh, and that should be Memphis ball. It is. Referees tonight, by the way, Grant Jensen The assistants Ryan Starr and Austin Holt. Your fourth is Lauren Hill. There's Austin Paul, not very happy.
Yeah, that was a kind of a difficult pass there from Pierre Da Silva, and Lesson Paul had to use some really nifty footwork to be able to avoid that challenge there from Sammy Kasai. It was a little bit late, and that brought that foot up a little bit high. He's really lucky to escape that tackle without getting a yellow card.
So Birch now with a free kick here in an area where you can do some things.
Yeah, another free kick from Mark Birch. This one looks to be a little long.
Yeah, they were looking for Doyle. And it goes to Riverhounds. Pittsburgh ball in the 10th minute. Hot night in Memphis. Since Doyle's arrived, the 901 FC's been pretty good.
Yeah, and that's because Liam Doyle is pretty good. You know, that was a huge signing when he was acquired from Nashville Soccer Club. And it wasn't like he was rotting away on the bench. You know, he was starting every single game for Nashville. So really a great pickup for Tim Mulqueen and 901 FC.
That away. A lot of play at midfield so far.
Yeah, really cagey match so far between these two teams.
Here's
it's a fantastic challenge.
What a move. And the takeaway by Birch.
Yeah, it was a fantastic tackle from Mark Birch as he won the ball and was able to keep it in bounds.
And Da Silva on the run, looking ahead.
It's a good idea from Pierre Da Silva. He's been so dynamic all season and powerful, driving the ball forward. Fortunately for 901 FC, that pass was just a little bit too far out in front of Brandon Allen.
And Velarde's checking his right knee for Pittsburgh. Paul puts a lot of pressure on you when he can.
Yeah, you can see, you know, once that ball crosses midfield, 901 FC putting a lot of pressure on the ball. When the ball's in Pittsburgh's own defensive half, you know, they're letting him have that.
Here's Sharping now with a little room. And he'll go back behind him. A little miscommunication. Birch says, here you go, Metzger.
You know, Dave, this game really is a case of, you know, Pittsburgh's in a really good spot in the table. They're at fifth place, and so, you know, they don't necessarily need to win this game, although Bob Lilly would love to win every game, but they're going to say, you know, you guys need to win this game, and you're at home, you guys come at us. You know, we'll sit back and we'll take the pressure on, maybe bend but not break mentality, and then we'll look to counter the ball and then score, as they did earlier in that game that was actually postponed in May.
Caldwell will play it by himself. Time of possession pretty close so far. Both teams very conservative. And you gotta figure with the heat the way it is, and this both played on Saturday, so they only had a couple of days rest. And Da Silva tries to turn things around. Dump this way too far for anybody, and there is Austin Pack.
And you can see Pierre Da Silva, he's trying to play the ball forward. He's looking for his strikers. He's looking for Brandon Allen and Marcus Epps and Dwayne Muckett to break those lines and play the ball forward. But, you know, Pittsburgh's are just so organized. There's not going to be a ton of opportunities to find those passes.
If the 901 FC can get a couple of goals or get a clean sheet, you win $5 off a $10 purchase at Chicken Salad Chick. All you got to do is download that free Chicken Salad Chick app now. And you could get some money off later today if the Jeff Caldwell-led 901 FC can come up with another clean sheet for you.
And unlike some of those other games, the previous 4 games that 901 FC has had that have been, you know, a couple of them some high-scoring affairs, I do not expect for this game to be high-scoring. As you can see in the first 14 minutes of this game or so, it's been really cagey.
Nice one touches, and here's Frankie putting it in the box, and it's going to go all the way through. And it'll be picked up there by Marcus Epps.
You can see when Pittsburgh does decide to go forward with the ball, how dangerous and consistent they are. It's an excellent service there by Noah Frankie.
I've been talking a lot about that. Here's some danger from Kerr. And a very good job defensively that time by Josh Morgan.
Yeah, that was a really good run from Ryan James coming from his left back position. He's excellent at getting forward from that outside back position. He was looking to slot that ball back across the box, but good positioning from 901 FC.
You're talking about how you try to get playoff ready, playoff tough. In 10 of the last 13 matches, and Memphis has been pretty successful in those matches. You know, they've won the last 4. 10 of those have come against teams that are already in the playoffs. And here is
look at that
quick score for Pittsburgh. On the set play from the corner, and Jeff Caldwell's very upset with himself.
Fantastic delivery from Robbie Mertz. He just whipped that ball, an in-swinging ball, corner kick, and directly onto the 6'5" tall Joe Greenspan, who just really goes right over the top of Josh Morton. He just puts that ball into the corner. Nothing that Jeff Caldwell could do. It was an excellent delivery and excellent header by Joe Greenspan, the center back.
Came at 14:40. The 3rd goal of the year for Greenspan. And one more look. Well, there's no chance for Caldwell. You said it. He went right over Morton. And now that's 5 goals already scored this year by Pittsburgh against Memphis without an answer. Good news is Memphis has been coming back from down in games. They did not do that earlier in the year. In this nice little run, since they've added these pieces, they have been comeback kids.
Absolutely, and that is the good news, Dave. And unfortunately, the bad news is they're playing Pittsburgh, so it's pretty hard to come back from them. But it is early, and not only he really has been playing good soccer, but you know, whenever you're giving up set pieces, you're always going to be at risk when you're facing guys like Joe Greenspan, who's just so tall and so dominant in the air.
And there is a nice takeaway by Greenspan, and Doyle saves the day. Well, they have to score some goals. They've scored 14, 901 FC has, in the last 7 games. Allen's had 6 of those. And there's a lot of physical play there, and the foul's called on Pittsburgh. So Weston Paul.
A lot of contact there. Yeah, a lot of contact there. Really good hustle from Weston Paul, who was able to keep that ball in bounds and keep his balance and stay on his feet. You know, maybe could have gone down, but, you know, played honest, played well, and stayed on his feet. Won inside a corner kick. So there is Greenspan on the defensive side as Birch is going to put this in play. And they're looking for Brandon Allen, who's been the scorer. Yeah, guys like Brandon Allen and Josh Morton would be fantastic in the air.
And that one cleared away. Metzger trying to press. And what a great defensive play.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play by Ryan James, who was able to keep that ball in play, stole the ball, and then was able to keep it in bounds.
Here's Sharpie. And Silver will send it back. Doyle all the way back to Cole. 1-0. It happened at 14:40 on a set piece. What great placement of the ball, but Greenspan he's a big guy. He's a big guy, and you know, I've got personal experience playing with Joe Greenspan. He was a teammate of mine back in 2016 when I played for Colorado Springs, and he was on loan from MLS, Colorado Rapids, and you know, I got on the end of some of those Joe Greenspan headers. He's just, you know, he's a little bit taller than I am, Dave. I won't give away my height, but really athletic and physical and strong player, especially in the air. I won't give away your height, but he's about 5 inches taller than you. Into the 18th minute, and not a real shot on goal yet by 901 FC. Yeah, not a real shot on goal for 901 FC, but then again, you know, Pittsburgh hasn't had many shots on goal, but they're just so efficient. You know, whenever they get good chances in front of goal, they usually score them, which is, you know, it's almost unrealistic to say, you know, don't give them any chances. You know, it's a really good team, but if you're going to be facing a Pittsburgh team, you're going to need to score some goals. I don't know if you can see at the bottom of your screen, Bob Lilly. He is constantly up and coaching, and here is Doyle going to try to clear this thing away. Caldwell has to come out quickly. That was a little miscommunication between the defender and the goalie. There's Lilly, Hall of Famer. He's been in this game, I think, as long as you've been alive, J.J. Griffith. Absolutely, and this game could be, you know, 5-0 in Pittsburgh's favor. And I'll tell you what, Bob Lilly will still be standing up on those sidelines, barking instructions, and never satisfied. Birch advances. Pittsburgh retreats in a defensive shell. And that's an easy one, well read by Austin Pack.
The last thing you want to do if you're 901 FC, you don't want to get frustrated and just start lumping balls up forward to Brandon Allen, because it's not really his strength to be able to just physically overpower center backs. Work the ball out wide and then cross it into Brandon Allen. Find him inside the 18, inside the 6-yard box, and if he's in position to score, he will score.
Metzger will cross, and that's headed away. And Lilly showing some skill with the feet.
Looks like he's still got the touch.
Yeah.
He's been around the game a long time. You can't expect him to have never touched a soccer ball after all those years.
Metzger goes out wide this time. And he was, I think, trying to catch the goalie napping. Pack was back, and that was wide. Still 1-0.
See here, Bubbly with a little left-footed flick. I think he took the first touch with his right foot and then passed the ball on the flick with his left foot. So Bob Lilly showing us a couple things.
Still got it. Birch clears. Desai will send this wide. And Birch with the nice turnover there.
It's well done. Good composure from Mark Birch, not to just lump that ball out of bounds. He knew he was going to get there first. He liked to keep the ball in bounds and found one of his teammates, and now 901 FC has possession.
By the way, look at that field. Brand new. Put in for the AAA title game that was here a week and a half ago. They keep making improvements to AutoZone. This management group, ownership, and Craig Under and Peter Freund, Andrew, they are really going first class. Tim McQuaid's got to know, look, you got to be patient. You're, 9 months into your operation, expansion team. Crowds, by the way, the second best expansion team, 7th in the league in the USL when it comes to drawing people. And again, this one a little lower because, again, it was a makeup game.
Yeah, time and time again, 901 FC is proven to have a first-class organization, and you can see that by some of the players that they've brought in. So far, it's been a fantastic year on and off the field for 901 FC, and they got a really tough one in front of them tonight. But I know the players will fight hard, and the Bluff City Mafia and everyone will cheer and fight hard for them.
Nice passing and a little too far, and Caldwell says, I've got it. Sharpie up the left side. It's pretty hard to counter on this Pittsburgh team. They stay back in that defensive shell.
Absolutely, it's not even that they always just stay back. They just move so well as a team. So when they move the ball forward, they get 8-9 guys up, and then once the ball's turned over, they shift defensively so well and get 8 or 9 guys back. Before you can blink. So
and they're so physical. You just saw that little shove of Leston Paul, and it reminds me of some of the philosophies like a Nolan Richardson or Rick Pitino in basketball, where they go, look, we're going to shove you, we're going to push you, we're going to hold you. Let them call it. They're not going to call every one of them.
Absolutely, they won't call every one of them, and they're smart with it. They're taking fouls at midfield, not in dangerous positions. So if you're going to foul somebody, you can take a foul at midfield to stop a counterattack, and like you said, you can be physical. The referee's not going to call every single foul.
Frankie will send it backwards. All the way back, they play it to Greenspan. He's the star so far. All 6 of them on the header off the set piece in the 14th minute. Mertz. And they're almost going to make you come out and press a little bit, especially later in this game.
Yeah, and especially if they still have a 1-0 lead. There's no need for them to rush forward. Might as well draw 901 FC out of their shell, which eventually 901 FC will have to come out of their shell. At this point in the season, when you're chasing after the playoffs, you can't really afford to drop any points. You at least need to get a draw against a tough Pittsburgh team. And ideally, you'd like to have 3 points at home.
They cross.
It's really good defense there from Josh Morton on the tricky Ryan James.
And Greenspan will settle again. A little miscommunication. It goes right past Noah Frankie. Memphis will get it back.
Yeah, Memphis is 901 FC has done a really good job of being patient as well. You know, it's unfortunate that, you know, for 901 FC that they've gone down so early. Such a good goal by Joe Greenspan, but they've done a good job of being patient and not turning the ball over cheaply or making defensive mistakes.
Muckett went ahead, tried to get that to De Silva, and I believe that'll be off of Memphis. Bob Lilly, very animated. Likes what he sees so far. Memphis without a real chance created yet in this game.
See a lot of contact there between Pierre De Silva and I believe that was Noah Frankie.
Yeah.
Nothing sinister there, and if you are going to foul if you're Pierre De Silva, you might as well do it in the opposite corner of where your own goal is.
Little turnover and Doyle sends it ahead. Paul's been active in this game. Trying to go to Muckett, and the pressure all around him.
That was a really good entry ball there from Liam Doyle, but you can just see the swarm of Pittsburgh Riverhounds players on Dwayne Muckett and how much they just really cloud around that ball when it's entered around midfield and in their own defensive third.
Greenspan chips it ahead. Velarde had a chance at it. Turnover. Paul taking his time. Referee almost got in his way. Metzger will send it wide to Sharpie.
You can see Pittsburgh is they have all 11 players in their own half. So really just as Marcus Epps finds some space.
Epps trying to get that ball to his right foot, knocked away.
It's good that Marcus Epps is trying to drive forward against this Pittsburgh team, but you know there's no way that if he beats one player, there's no way he's going to beat 2, 3, and 4 Riverhounds players.
Burge will send it backwards. Doyle near the mid-stripe line. One good chance in this game. It was cashed in by Pittsburgh. 12 minutes ago. 1-0 and a set piece. Greenspan knocked it down. Memphis still looking for their first real chance. Doyle dumps it ahead. And a good job by Epps.
It's phenomenal footwork from Marcus Epps, but still just nowhere for him to go as 901 FC continues to work the ball around the attacking third.
Sharpie in the middle. Here is De Silva.
You see Pittsburgh now with 11 players in their own defensive third.
Epps into the box and knocked away. It'll be Memphis throw. Josh Morton gets it in quickly. Brandon Allen, we haven't called his name very much.
Absolutely, and Brandon Allen, he's having to venture outside of the 18-yard box to come find the ball just because, you know, there's 5 and 6 players around that 18-yard box surrounding him.
Birch'll go wide. Morton in the Paul. Doyle and the one touch from Muckett back to Birch. And look at how Pittsburgh crowds you.
Yeah, and Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds, they'll be perfectly fine with doing this for, you know, the next 60-plus minutes of this game. You know, when they have the lead, and Bob Lilly is perfectly fine defending for large portions of the game and then countering and taking advantage of chances when they come.
And even those simple little plays like that header right there, which was a defensive play right back to the goalie, makes it easy. Tim Mulqueen's still trying to figure out how he can get his guys going.
And that'll be the hardest part for 901 FC and Tim Mulqueen and his side.
That was some contact there. De Silva okay. And the Pittsburgh player still down.
Yeah, a lot of contact there between Pierre De Silva and Robbie Mertz, as it looked like Pierre De Silva was going up for that header, and Pierre De Silva, he looks like he might be a kind of wiry guy, but he's extremely strong and compact. He has that wiry strength, and he's not afraid to use that strength. As you saw, he went up for the header there, and definitely a foul as he went through the back of Robbie Mertz. Looks like Robbie Mertz is up and okay.
Mertz, a little guy from Pittsburgh, rookie out of Michigan.
That was a fantastic delivery on that Joe Greenspan corner from Robbie Mertz.
He's got the assist. Greenspan the goal, and that's where we are. And Muckett gets away with one there.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Surprised Brad Jensen didn't call it.
And Allen just could not gather the ball. Taken right away and right back to Pack. And the kick to midfield.
And now, I know that was a mistouch from Brandon Allen, but give credit to the Pittsburgh defense from there on that play. You know, if you take one small mistouch, they're just right there to swarm and steal that ball away.
And the quick passing to Noah Frankie. What is interesting, Metzger was looking around just waiting for Pittsburgh to come back. They were all still back.
Oh yeah, I know they're an extremely disciplined, well-oiled machine, the Riverhounds are. I've heard of the infamous Bob Lilly training sessions where he'll just go over team shape for hours and hours, and he won't leave the training ground until everybody knows their role. And you see how it can pay off. His team is extremely sharp in their team shape.
Andrew Bell was saying some people have Lilly really misunderstood that he doesn't try to score. He's just very strategic about when he's going to take his chances, especially when he's got to lead 1-0 as we entered the 31st minute.
Absolutely, and as this game goes on, if it continues to be 1-0, and 901 FC will have to come out of their shell. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw this Bob Lilly-led team start to maybe attack more, maybe counter-attack more, and try to catch 901 FC on the counter. And that's how the score can get run up, as it did in the last game versus Pittsburgh, which was 4-0 to the Riverhounds in Pittsburgh.
So the goal differential between the two teams here, third of the way through this match, 5-0. And there's a reason Pittsburgh is in first, and their coach has had this team for a while now. And they're patient. And this is the backup goalkeeper that you're looking at right here. This is not even their best. The kid Kyle Morton's one of the best in the league.
Absolutely, but don't let that fool you. These goalkeepers, they're fantastic goalkeepers, and they also benefit from the system that Pittsburgh plays. As you said, not necessarily all defensive, but just so disciplined in their team shape.
Epps knocked it away 3 times, and then that was, I think, last touch by Noah Frankie. Should be Memphis ball. Sharpie will put it into play. Still down 1-0. Got a lot of time, so you don't really have to press. You don't have to, as you say, be aggressive, take chances. Trust that you've scored a bunch of goals here in the last few games, and you can do it. Here's Sharpie looking for room.
You see Wes Sharpie's got 3 Pittsburgh Riverhounds players on him with nowhere to go. Ended up not even getting any service into the box. So far, you're still in the first half, still have some time to go in the first half as well. You don't want to, reach for the cheese quite yet, if you will, out of the mousetrap. If you get out of your shape too early against this team, this Riverhounds team, they only need a couple chances, as we saw at the beginning of this game. That could really end up biting you if you lose your shape, and then Pittsburgh marches down the field and could potentially score and then go up 2-0, and then you're really in trouble for this game. It's a fantastic combination there.
Now we'll press. 1-on-4. Here is Epps. He tried to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's good effort there from Pierre Da Silva. It was a really good run there as well from Leston Paul. He was driving at that Pittsburgh midfield and defense. But right now, Dave, I'm seeing a lot of guys, trying to take on multiple players, and that's just not the way that you're going to beat this Pittsburgh team. You're going to need really sharp ball movement, and then when you get your chances, you're going to need to take them.
Birch sizing it up. Doyle with the cross. Muckett looking for somebody. De Silva. And Metzger will play it back to Doyle, and now right in the middle, here's Birch again.
See, every time 901 FC tries to find those little windows to play, Pittsburgh is right there as we see here. It's an excellent play from Dwayne Muckett.
Muckett.
He gets the foul call.
Yeah.
And there's a great entry ball from Liam Doyle once again, and this time Dwayne Muckett extremely strong and he's got that low center of gravity, was able to hold off Sammy Kasai, and Kasai ends up fouling him. And I think Leston Paul is saying, I think that's a couple of fouls on him. When are we going to get him a yellow card? But you see Liam Doyle and Leston both saying, that play is there. It's been there all game. As you saw, Dwayne Muckett also actually took a little bit of a mistouch, but stayed really strong and
there's no question.
Had Sammy Kasai almost tried to rip his shorts off.
He's got his jersey, holding on to it.
Absolutely, but it's a really, really nice combination play there. And good strength from Dwayne Muckett.
Austin Pack orchestrates the defense that he wants in front of his goal.
Yeah, this ball looks to be about 25, 30 yards outside of the goal. It's a long ways out, but Mark Birch has got a cannon of a left foot.
He's got 2 goals this year, and that one gave you a little bit of excitement. The best chance so far on the evening for Memphis.
He has really nice strike from Mark Birch there. He's able to get that up and over the wall, but Austin Pack had a read on that. As you saw, it was a really clean strike, and that was heading for the back of the net, but Austin Pack got a good jump on it and was able to make the pretty easy save in the end.
That was off of Memphis. This will be Ryan James putting it into play. And a very good job by Morton. Once again, Kasai sends it conservatively. Memphis actually had so many people, Pittsburgh people, that were up front. Memphis might have had a shot if they could have gotten that ball out a little quicker, but they could not.
Yeah, that might have been a good chance there to put a little bit of pressure on Sammy Kasai, who was at midfield. Be physical. If you need to take a foul there, take a foul there. You're not in a dangerous spot, but sometimes you're going to have to take some chances to be able to win the ball off Pittsburgh.
Select's the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Brandon Allen going hard after it, could not, and that's cleared right back to Pack.
It's good to see Brandon Allen, Pierre De Silva put a little bit of pressure on this Pittsburgh Riverhound defenses. See Pierre De Silva's offside there, but eventually 901 FC, they're going to have to start putting a little bit more pressure on this Riverhounds team and try to get them out of their comfort zone and speed them up a little bit.
Really, you can take your time until, what, about a third of the way through the second half?
Yeah, if the result stays like this, 1-0, up until, let's say, about the 60th minute, then you're going to start needing to make some offensive changes if you're Tim Mulqueen, and start to put in some attacking players and really start to push this game forward, because you're 1-0 down. Ideally, you'd like to get 3 points, but you definitely can't get 0 points this late in the season when you're trying to make the playoffs.
And once again, Pittsburgh content to just knock it into the Memphis zone and not chase.
In the second half, speaking of those substitutions, guys like Cam Lindley and Lagos Kunga and Adam Najim, they're really talented attacking offensive players, and especially Lagos Kunga. He might be the kind of guy that's a wild card and will be able to break this deadlock. Well, excuse me, 901 FC is down 1-0, but maybe provide that spark that 901 FC needs.
A lot of games played in the last couple of weeks, and the last one was this emotional game against St. Louis. Maybe a little fatigue here too.
There could be a little fatigue, but there's some different guys in the lineup that should be pretty fresh. When you're talking about Dwayne Muckett, and Dan Metzger's had a little bit of rest after serving his suspension from yellow card accumulation, but you know, Pittsburgh also played on Saturday, so I don't think fatigue can be too much of an excuse. You're at the end of the season, and you know you should be pretty fit and ready to go.
Greenspan content to play it back to the goalie. We talked a little bit about that Pittsburgh defense, about how everybody was in the back end. Same thing for Memphis. Now mucking will inch out a little bit.
Yeah, they're inching out a little bit, but 901 FC still pretty deep, sitting pretty deeply in terms of that defensive pressure. And I tell you what, you can see how sharply that Pittsburgh moves the ball around. Of course, as I say that, 901 FC gets a turnover.
And Paul has to turn right back, and down he goes. Again, you pay a price when you're playing Pittsburgh. They are physical.
They're physical, and especially, you know, when they turn the ball over, they're willing to take those professional fouls at midfield. You saw on the replay here, a lot of contact there, but Ryan James gets all ball first and then makes contact with Leston Paul. So Brad Jensen makes the right call and elects to play on.
Sees pressure for the first time in a while.
It's good pressure, and you see what happens there. Well,
oh, there's a mistake, and Frankie had it knocked away by Doyle. Pittsburgh still in control.
You see the moments that Pittsburgh chooses to pressure in 901 FC's own defensive third, and a lot of physical play, and they're able to win that ball right back.
And this one too far, and a good job there. Coming up at the half, the 901 visit. A couple of the newer of the 901 FCs will go to the Southern College of Optometry. We'll take a look around the league, and we'll give you the first half stats. All coming up in about 5 minutes. Well, we've seen plenty of times where Memphis has given up late goals. Wouldn't it be something to turn the tables on this very, very good Pittsburgh team?
That would be fantastic for 901 FC, but it's easier said than done. You know, Bob Lilly will have his team prepared for the last 5 minutes. First 5 minutes of the half and the last 5 minutes of the half is the moments when you really do not want to concede in a game.
Well, you could see right there, Memphis tried to up the level, tried to get aggressive, and what did you see? About 10 one-touch passes. Great possession by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they're such a technical team, such a really sharp passing team. You can see the pace and the precision that each of the Riverhounds players puts on the ball, and you know, so far they've outclassed and outwitted 901 FC a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see the adjustments that Tim Mulqueen makes at halftime.
You just got to hope for a mistake, so a door might open.
And sometimes, you know, you have to put the foot on the gas and cause those mistakes. If you're 901 FC, you're going to have to pressure and bust out of your shell a little bit to be able to create those mistakes.
Frankie right in the middle of the Kerr. Sharpie stays with Frankie, and a nice takeaway for a moment there by De Silva. Here is a chance for Mertz. He set up that first goal to Frankie again.
It was a good defensive stand there from 901 FC. But Pittsburgh staying patient, continuing to work that ball around, not willing to give up possession easily.
Nice job by Muckett, but they'll say off of him. Frankie will throw it in. Kerr took the ball right out of bounds. An unforced error there.
Yeah, Kerr trying to use that fancy footwork, that skill that he has, that he's been known to use all these years, but ran out of real estate there.
Tim Mulqueen trying to figure out, can he get something going these last couple of minutes here? And what kind of substitutions will you see, and how many guys will he bring in? Will we see a Kunga, or will we see a Graf? Will we see a Collier? Will they look to go with more scoring?
Yeah, I think, we can definitely expect to see Cam Lindley in this game at some point. I know he's played a lot of minutes this year, and he put in another shift on Saturday against St. Louis, but I think this game is really calling for Cam Lindley. Nanawan FC needs some sharper passing. They need, to take some chances on set pieces and really get the ball moving forward, and I think he will be the key to unlock this Pittsburgh defense.
Good hustle that time by Epps. The nice trap by Morton.
It's well done from Josh Morton to hold the ball up.
Birch into the box. Here's Epps and cleared away, and that might have been a chance right there.
It looked like that ball might have crept over the line.
Oh, it did. That's exactly what Bob Lilly was saying.
As Marcus Epps made an extremely athletic play to try to keep that ball in, but looked like it ended up going over the end line for a Riverhounds goal kick.
Shouldn't have much stoppage time. This game really has moved along quite quickly.
Yeah, had a really nice flow to this game. No real serious foul calls. Not a lot of tempers flaring so far in this first half, but I suspect that could change in the second half as this game continues to move on.
And a good job by Sharpie to fake it out. Here's another look. Does it go out? His foot was, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it looked to be awfully close, but our assistant referee had a better view of it.
1 minute of extra time. It looked like the foot was on the line. Metzger looks ahead. All he sees is white shirts. They pack it beautifully. Only goal in the game came at 14:40 on a set piece. Robbie Mertz from the corner found 6'6" Joe Greenspan. He went right over Josh Morton with a beautiful header. 1-0. Went most likely is going to be our halftime score here. Well, this is a bit dangerous, and Caldwell gets there, but for a minute.
It was a fantastic ball from Kevin Curry to Valesky.
And that'll do it. There's your first half. 1 goal, 1 decent chance for Memphis. Tim Mulqueen, let's see what he might do. If he'll bring in some more scoring or not. The Mafia is on hand. But it's 1-0 Pittsburgh in a dominating fashion. Welcome back to Memphis, Pittsburgh with a smothering, dominating defense. Not many chances for 901 FC, and it is Pittsburgh on top 1-0. Time for us to take a little stroll. We'll go with Lagos Kunga and Pierre De Silva and visit the Southern College of Optometry.
Weaving his way through. Elliot Collier for the hat trick. There it is! Can Kunga make it even more special? Indeed! To the back post. Look at that. Oh my goodness! A brace for Brandon Allen.
He's a winner. In for the goal!
Let's go with the left point. Jamal Johnson!
With one touch to settle, and Alex finds the top of the net. Black stays down, and Indy 11 has a one.
Ball struck towards the 18, headed on, and headed home. Inside glancing header, and he caps it off with the goal of the night. I think they want dangerous play call. That one served in the back of the net. Fresno out of nowhere.
Milton serves it in to the back post. It's off the woodwork and it's in.
That's in the back of the net. Another cross into the corner, and Hubbard does even better. Boberg's gonna take a shot on goal with a cross and a fantastic save.
Good shot for Blackwood. Nice play by Van Oakland
To force him to give the ball up.
Illich saved. League One. He's got an opportunity for another curls and scores. Oh, Zaguro. Moshobani again. Back heel Moshobani. He did it again.
Whips it in, finds the back post. Oh, what a finish. Arturo Rodriguez. Through ball though. Demas the other way. Demas saved by Hara.
in the middle. Still Jaden Nelson. His shot. It's saved again by Giuliano Chache.
Wide open. Fitzgerald covering the mark. Still Rodriguez and stopped by Fitzgerald.
We'd like to thank our official Memphis 901 FC pub partners, Aldo's Pizza Pies, Silky O'Sullivan's, High Cotton Brewing Company, Crosstown Brewing Company, and more. You can watch every Memphis 901 FC match home and away at these pubs, including Memphis 901 FC's final road match against Indy 11. That's Saturday, October the 5th at 6 p.m. on CW 30. The Mafia out in full force, but it's the Pittsburgh Riverhounds that have had their way with full force defensively in the one set piece, the goal that was made by Joe Greenspan. Let's take a little bit of a look around the league. Phoenix rising win streak was snapped. Incredible 21-match win streak snapped Saturday with a loss to Fresno. Phoenix missed 2 penalty kicks in the match, including one in extra time. Fresno has clinched a playoff berth with the victory. Independence Park is set for renovations in Charlotte. They'll be moving to this great place downtown. A $31.7 million renovation will be completed in the spring of 2021. It'll be a nifty place. 10,500 seating capacity with historic ticket offices and walls that will be preserved. And then next up for the 901 FC will be Bethlehem Steel. Currently one spot behind Memphis in the standings at 13th, so that becomes important. They are a strong attacking team, 44 goals on the year. That's tied for 6th in the East. Memphis was a winner in the first matchup. That was a long time ago, back in March, 1-0, and it was, by the way, Memphis's first franchise win. So you take a look, you see where they are. You got to get to 10. At the moment, that's 8 points away as they sit in their position, JJ.
Yeah, there's a lot of ground to be made up if you're 901 FC, and you're in a tough spot tonight, being down 1-0 at home to Pittsburgh, who's an extremely tough team to be able to come back against. But if you can get a point tonight, and maybe if you can pick up 3 points, that'd be great for 901 FC.
Here is the right share stats here at the half, and really look at that, 2 shots on goal, really one I thought that had a shot. Pittsburgh, only the 1 shot, but they made it. Possession time about even. Total passes, well, in Pittsburgh, just 1 touches you to death. Quarter kicks even. Fouls about the same. 1 shot, and they made it work.
And
Pittsburgh did.
That's what I call efficiency, Dave. 100% shot conversion rate. That's not too bad if you're away from home, and if you're Bob Lilly, I think that's all you can ask for, right? And just been a fantastic performance so far from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Those
are your stats brought to you by Memphis Rideshare. Folks still having a good time, but you know darn well they'd like to see some scoring. Well, there are two iconic signs. The old one, the Peabody, that grand hotel, and the newest, the Memphis 901 FC Shield. The Riverhounds up 1-0. Folks still having a good time here in Memphis. I know they would like to see a little bit more offense. Only really one shot that was taken by the Riverhounds. It came on a set piece, J.J. Greer, and this is basically the highlight. A lot of good goalkeeping, a lot of physical play, but right here.
And that was a fantastic in-swinging ball, corner kick there from Robbie Mertz directly onto the 6'6" Joe Greenspan's head, who just really went right over the top of Josh Morton. There's not really too much Josh Morton can do there. Greenspan is so tall and so athletic, and not a lot Jeff Caldwell could do as well. As you could see the frustration on his face.
Well, that view, that last one that you saw from the corner, really showed you he had no chance, and that was just a good job by Greenspan of going over Morton. Mertz set it up perfectly, and Memphis had some chances here, but look at this physical play, and you grab the jersey and you do everything you can, and it's hard to score. That was probably the best chance Memphis had.
Yeah, you know, you saw the contact there on Dwayne Muckett, and a really solid contact from Mark Birch on that strike, as you see yet again more physical play and more service from Mark Birch, but 901 FC just couldn't find that one last ball to be able to put in the back of the net.
So as we mentioned a little bit earlier, and we will be here for this game on Saturday, Bethlehem Steel in town, 7 o'clock, then at Indy 11, Charlotte, Charleston, Louisville. All those teams Memphis can play on a pretty even basis, and they're going to have to probably win, but 4 of those 5 if they're going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that Bethlehem Steel and versus Charlotte and that Louisville City game, those are games that 901 FC will have a great chance to win, although Louisville City is an extremely good team. You know, they're the back-to-back champions, but, you know, you're at Indy 11 and at Charleston. Those are going to be some tough, massive matches, but you're going to have to come away with some points if you want to make the playoffs.
What do you expect here in this second half as Metzger gets set? What kind of moves do you think Tim Mulqueen will make? How quickly might we see substitutions?
Yeah, I don't think, you know, there's no need to push the panic button quite yet, but, you know, if the score stays 1-0 like this with Pittsburgh in the lead, you know, for the next, let's say, 15, 20 minutes, then you got to start, you know, Tim Mulqueen will start looking down his bench, you know, considering his options, and he's got good options on the bench. You know, he still has Elliot Collier on the bench, Cam Lindley on the bench, Lagos Kunga, Adam Najim, so, you know, he still has all 3 of his subs left, and he's got about 4 guys that could really make a difference in this game.
And as we look at that huddle, everybody who started in the first half is going to start the second half, including Jeff Caldwell in goal. Been a pretty good job so far for the backup goalie for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I thought Austin Pack played with quite a bit of authority.
Yeah, and you know, Austin Pack, he's had a couple of appearances this year, and you know, Bob Lilly and the system that he plays, and he always goes and gets good goalkeepers, and really he can turn not to say Austin Pack is an average goalkeeper, but he can turn, you know, a goalkeeper that hasn't seen a lot into a goalkeeper of the year.
Pittsburgh with it, first and white again. 901 FC in the navy blue. And Greenspan with that 6'6" frame knocks it away. A lot of time in the air for this soccer ball.
Yeah, an interesting start to this game, you know, as we kick off this second half. It's really cagey so far. Nobody really wanting to settle the ball down, and a lot of physical play here.
And here is De Silva sending it forward, and the shot on goal didn't have a lot on it. Fairly easy for Austin Pack, but a good start, an aggressive start for De Silva and company.
Yeah, it's good to see Pierre De Silva, you know, keep Austin Pack honest. As you said, Dave, he didn't quite catch all of this ball as he was trying to whip that ball into the back post. Doesn't quite catch it right, but it's a good job on Pierre De Silva to keep Austin Pack honest and force him to make some saves.
And another jolting play, that time by Velarde. I'll tell you right now, Paul is going to be really, really sore tomorrow.
Yeah, and listen, Paul, you know, he's a junkyard dog. He's a bulldog in the midfield. He's used to those physical battles, and he's going to get every bit of that in the second half facing this Pittsburgh team.
Metzger dumped it in, but it was right to his former teammate, Todd Pratzner.
And Todd Pratzner, along with Joe Greenspan on that back line for Pittsburgh, have really done a phenomenal job not giving 901 FC a lot of space to operate.
Here comes Memphis in a hurry, and Muckett. He goes wide. Sharpie will send it back, and Doyle will look for an opening. Morton. Memphis had the better time of possession, hard to believe, in the first half, and really they played a great defensive half too. Just a one shot. It just happened to go in.
And, you know, and part of that, Dave, is there's a lot of possession for 901 FC, but not a lot of possession in dangerous areas. You know, Pittsburgh was perfectly fine in that first half, just sitting back in their own half and watching 901 FC pass the ball around in front of them, you know, 40 and 50 yards away from goal, which is not dangerous to Austin Pack and his back line.
Morton. The one touch, now backwards.
And that's what you want to see if you're 901 FC. You want to see those entry balls and those one-touch layoffs from Brandon Allen.
Absent to the box, but too far and right to Austin Pack.
It's a good idea there from Marcus Epps, trying to get the ball into the box, but so far in this game, you know, the first 48 minutes of this game, the service has been really lacking from 901 FC. Not a lot of those really good driven, whipped-in balls we typically see from guys like Marcus Epps and Josh Morton.
That's too far, and Doyle with the nice heel save, trap. Morton smart there. Banged it right off the defender.
You can see here Marcus Epps had a little bit of time and space, but just wasn't quite able to execute on that cross and sailed that ball as an easy enough save for Austin Pack in the end. And this right here is the chance for 901 FC to be able to steal that ball. As you can see, the legs on Christian Valesky.
Wow. Caldwell had to come way out on Valesky.
Yeah, well done from Jeff Caldwell to be able to step off his line and really turn on the jets, as you saw how Christian Valesky really opened up his stride and almost was able to get to that ball first.
Birch directs. Epps again, who just had that shot, didn't have enough on it. Leston Paul will cross. Here's Sharpie. Memphis the aggressor here to start the second half. Morton. Oh, a little miscommunication with Epps, and it was easy for Pratzner to put it right back to his goalie.
You see there's a foot race here between Christian Valesky and Jeff Caldwell, and Jeff Caldwell really aware and really smart play to be able to step off of his line and get to that ball first and be able to clear the ball away from danger.
Pittsburgh's goalie, Austin Pack, will kick it in. There's De Silva. Just wait.
You can see what Pierre De Silva was trying to do on that last play. He was looking for Marcus Epps to make that run, but as you said, Dave, a little bit of a miscommunication.
Paul heads that out. Here's De Silva. Epps nearly loses the ball. Ryan James all over him, and a great tackle there. A little too great. A little pushing and shoving. We told you they're physical. Memphis will get the ball.
You can see Ryan James and Pittsburgh so good at towing that line of is it a foul, is it not? And you saw that Brad Jensen almost hesitated there to call that foul, but Pittsburgh's so aggressive and so good at winning the ball back in dangerous areas.
Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across the USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest levels across the United States, including the USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. They got these academies all over the place now, don't they?
Absolutely, and it's good to grow the game and to grow youth soccer in America, and it starts at that level. You know, it starts at, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. That's where a lot of these guys you see on the field now have come from, a lot of these academies.
Sharpie has two converge on him, got it over to Muckett, but then three came to him. They will get there in a hurry. Metzger will play it back. Sharpie tried to get in that box. He was looking for Muckett, cleared away nicely by Kasai.
It's a great outlet pass as well from Kasai, directly into the path of Valesky, and now Riverhounds have the ball in a dangerous position now with a lot of possession.
Memphis does get back. And this one into the box, knocked away, still there. Here's a shot, knocked down. That was a good look that time by Kasai, and one of the Memphis defenders got in the way.
Yeah, it was good patience from Kasai there as he took that knockdown and faked the initial shot, but I think his second touch was a little bit long and allowed 901 FC to get back in position to be able to block that shot.
Mertz knocks it in again, and that was directed off Valesky right to Caldwell. That was, again, a very nifty play by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, dangerous play there as Valesky was in a really good spot. It looked like at first he was going to knock the ball back down to Velarde, but he elected to flick that ball on. See the replay here. Great chip right there from Robbie Mertz, and Valesky with a quick flick of a head, and he's trying to catch Jeff Caldwell off his line, but it ends up going off of his shoulder, and Caldwell makes the easy save.
Really, pretty much only their second shot on goal all game. Here's a look for Muckett, but knocked away. Noah Frankie. He's able to find Kerr.
Ooh, lovely move there from Kerr.
And Muckett comes back and knocks it to Caldwell.
Yeah, good tracking for Muckett coming back from his left winger position to be able to track all the way back and steal that ball out of the path of Christian Valesky.
Into the 54th minute. And here's a attempt to get it up, and there's another very aggressive play. Here's a long shot, and that one is over everything.
Yeah, it was a great ball, initial ball there from Mark Birch. Trying to find the feet of Marcus Epps, ended up being a little bit long, and Austin Pack did a great job of stepping off of his line and actually headed that ball outside of the box. You can see here, and Pierre Da Silva trying to catch Austin Pack off of his line, but ends up sitting that ball over the bar.
Memphis coming at it a little bit and forces the bad pass, headed away, but it'll belong to Pittsburgh. Both teams, a couple of attempts, and we've got Jeff Collier about to come into the game. And he's going to come in from Mark Birch. Nope. Must be from Muckett.
Yeah, looks like there was a little bit of a mix-up on the substitution board there, but definitely a more offensive sub here. Is a pretty early sub, only 9 minutes into this second half, and Dwayne Muckett comes off. Not a bad performance from Dwayne Muckett by any means, but it's definitely more of an offensive substitution, bringing in Elliot Collier off the bench, who might be able to put a little bit more pressure on that Riverhounds defense, as 901 FC desperately needs a goal.
Collier, before Brandon Allen came in, was really on a hot streak, and boy, he got taken out by the ankle, and it looked tough. I wasn't sure he was going to come back, but he is now. See if he can't get something going.
Absolutely. And Elliot Collier, he did as he was on the bench, and I believe he was injured as well. He did a great job, as almost was able to get on the end of that ball there, but did a great job of coming off the bench and really became a spark plug against especially Hartford Athletic, and was able to come off the bench and get an assist or two. But I think this could be potentially a good game for Elliot Collier, but won't be a lot of room to operate.
Here's Da Silva. He gets tripped up just outside the box. That'll be a free kick. Now you've got Allen and Collier up front, and Collier's got that 6'4" frame, and that'll be a yellow card.
Definitely a yellow card. That's the right decision there from Brad Jensen, as Robbie Merch. Not a lot of argument from him there. He knew that he took out Pierre Da Silva from behind, as Pierre Da Silva was looking forward, was in a dangerous position, and Robbie Merch just electing just to take out his ankles. Nothing too malicious there, but definitely a yellow card worthy.
What do you call that? A good pro call? A good pro foul?
Yeah, a professional foul there. Although this is kind of a dangerous area here. It'll be a little bit of a tougher angle from Mark Birch, the left-footed Mark Birch. You know, typically you see a professional foul more towards midfield, but still a pretty tough angle for Mark Birch. We'll see if he either shoots on target or likes to cross this ball.
He tried a bender in the first half. It was the best chance Memphis had. Down 1-0. Birch lets it fly, looking back post, knocked away, and Doyle will catch up with it. Back into the box and headed away, that time by Kerr.
Once again, you see how organized and strong Pittsburgh is in defense and defending set pieces.
Birch saves it? No. It'll belong to the Riverhounds.
It's a really good delivery from Mark Birch on that free kick as well, but Pittsburgh just stymied 901 FC and didn't give them any room to operate.
Noah Frankie will put it into play for Pittsburgh. Kerr hounded by 2 or 3. And finally, here's De Silva. Great heel pass backwards by Epps.
Yeah, lovely flick there from Epps. He and Pierre De Silva have always combined really nicely so far the past month or so for 901 FC.
Collier with fresh legs. Back to Metzger.
Even still, even after it looked to be more of a slow building counterattack, you see how quickly Pittsburgh has gotten all 11 players behind the ball.
Metzger crosses. Morton controls.
Here's
Try to get in the box, and a good job by Ryan James.
You see Josh Morton immediately surrounded by 3 Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Collier puts it back up top. And Doyle's going to let one go, knocked away.
It looked like Brandon Allen, his own striker, got in the way of that powerful strike from Liam Doyle. Would have loved to have seen where that ball might have ended up. It had a lot of pace, and it looked to be on target.
This one headed away. And Sharpie goes down. Cannot recover, but it will come right to Metzger. Back, here's Epps. Keeps it in. Good job that time. The Frenchman, Bekayazil, he made a good play.
You can see the strike from Liam Doyle. That was a fantastic strike. It was actually Greenspan that got in front of that ball, and it looked like he needed to. That ball might have been headed for the top corner, at least side netting of Austin Pack's goal. A lovely strike from Liam Doyle, but good positioning from Joe Greenspan.
Memphis the more dominant team here early in the second half, but the score still 1-0 Pittsburgh.
It'll be interesting to see, as this game continues to move on, as we get closer to the hour mark. Tim O'Queen continues to put in more attacking players. Still has Cam Lindley and Adam Najim and Lagos Kunga on his bench, so a wealth of riches on his bench to be able to bring them on and really change this game.
Well, when you got Birch back too with Doyle, you feel a lot more confidence. This one played ahead. Oh, he was looking for Epps. Allen now knocked away from him, and that'll belong to Memphis.
Great look there from Mark Birch, trying to find Mark Birch in his path, but you can see the 6'6" frame of Joe Greenspan there once again to clear that ball out.
And Brad Jensen having some words with Ryan James. I'm not sure what that or with Kevin Kerr. Not sure what the discussion was all about. And we've got a Pittsburgh substitution. They will bring in Mohamed Dabo, a young man from Senegal. And I believe leaving the game will be Anthony Velarde.
And I thought it was a strong performance from Anthony Velarde. Didn't call his name a lot tonight, but he was pretty active and was really consistent in just moving the ball around for Pittsburgh, and was able to pop up in some really nice areas as Mo Dabo checks onto the field. Mo Dabo's a really strong player. He's very dynamic and very strong on the ball, and you can already see him just directing traffic. And you see Bob Lilly giving the young professional Anthony Velarde some words of wisdom on the sideline. 3 guys all over Epps, knock it away off of them. This time this Silva right to Epps, and he tried to knock it toward the goal, knocked away by Pittsburgh. And Sharpie with some quick feet there, back to Doyle. See Liam Doyle starting to be brave and step into the midfield, showing some of those midfielder skills that he has. He's so skilled on the ball as a center back. He's got a large physical presence. As you can see, Marcus Epps trying the flick, but that's what not only see. They're going to need players to step up and be brave.
Here is De Silva, poked away from him nicely, and Frankie sends it ahead. Kerr had it. Look at the one touches and dangerous play.
And Brad Jensen was in really good position there to see Kevin Kerr trying to be a little bit cheeky. It looked like he was able to slide and get contact on that ball and pass it to his teammate, but he also clipped Dan Metzger in the process, and Brad Jensen in great position to be able to spot that foul.
Tim Mulqueen saying that's what they do. Look, that's dangerous.
Yeah, you saw as Kevin Kerr was sliding there in the replay and didn't get any ball and knew he wasn't getting the ball, so elected to get Dan Metzger instead. And this will be another fairly dangerous position for Mark Birch.
They've got Collier they can go up front with and Brandon Allen. They bring up Doyle too. You have some height for Birch. And they go into the box and it's knocked away. Collier will catch up with it.
And that's the thing, Mark Birch, he's a really good service that he's putting in, but you need to get the ball away from Greenspan time and time again. Whenever the ball goes into the area where Greenspan is, most likely he's going to get his head on it.
And a misplay by Memphis. The ball belongs to Pittsburgh. In the 63rd minute, 1-0 Pittsburgh. They got it on a set piece. The only shot they had on goal in the first half. 14-40. Mertz from the corner to Greenspan and the header past Caldwell. And Birch will play it back to his goalie, and Caldwell takes his time. Morton getting pressed. Pittsburgh getting a little bit more aggressive as Memphis plays it back to Jeff Caldwell.
And that's what Pittsburgh does. They press in the right areas. When they have numbers forward and they feel like they can nick the ball off you in a dangerous area, that's when they'll really put a lot of pressure on the ball and try to win that ball in a dangerous area and be that much closer to goal.
901 FC ball. And they were looking for Collier a little too far. Pressure that time by Apps, and that forced the misplay. Poked away from Collier, should belong to 901.
You see 901 FC remaining patient, trying to work that ball around as Sharpie was able to keep that ball in bounds, but 901 FC, they really are going to need to find Marcus Epps and the feet of Marcus Epps and Elliot Collier and get them in wide positions and try to get those players to go 1v1 and find Brandon Allen inside the 18-yard box.
Well, they found Epps this time. Had it knocked away momentarily. Look at that move by Paul. He's knocked down, and the 901 FC gets the call, and Paul's in pain.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. You see Leston Paul trying to use that strength that he has and that low center of gravity and step into the path of Sammy Kasai, who's also an extremely physical and durable player. As you saw, Kasai first was able to nick the ball off of Marcus Epps, and then a lot of contact there between, it was Kasai and might have been Noah Frankie as well. And as Leston Paul has worked his socks off all game.
He has really absolutely been like the Energizer Bunny. The Energizer Bunny. He all over the place, the young man from Trinidad. Birch. And that was looking for the far post. Collier catches up with it.
See the speed and the pace that Elliot Collier has, was able to keep that ball in bounds.
Great job of taking it away from him. And here's the counter.
A lot of space for Robbie Mertz.
And Mertz is fast, and he got tripped from behind. No call on the play. Here's Birch.
You see Bob Lilly literally doing jumping jacks on the sideline, looking for a foul call.
I think he's got a right to be upset. Birch will one-touch it.
Yeah, he's saying that Anthony Velarde's shirt was pulled and that 901 FC committed the professional foul, but Brad Jensen electing to play on. As you can see here, no, there was absolutely no contact there. Robbie Mertz just took a spill. Looked like he got tripped up on his own 2 feet.
Brandon Allen was trying to send that over to Collier. And here's De Silva trying to make a nifty move. He tried a 360 and he got about 240 of it.
Yeah, you see Pierre De Silva was able to avoid the initial pressure, but that's what I've been saying time and time again. You try to take on 2 and 3 players, it's just not gonna go your way when you're facing such a stout defensive team.
Wow. You talk about physical play. Kerr and Doyle just got absolutely wrapped up with one another, and they went down hard. Everybody's okay.
Everybody's okay, and if you're Pittsburgh, that's where you want to commit fouls, in the opponent's half. So that allows, you know, the Pittsburgh team to once again get behind the ball and reset and get back into their blocks.
Nice chest. Looking for Collier. He's got some space. Up ahead, Allen. Great defense by Noah Frankie. Wow. Out of nowhere, he took it away.
Yeah, fantastic step there from Noah Frankie, playing some help defense, coming over from his left back position. It looked like Brandon Allen was in a ton of space, but Noah Frankie just came streaking over from his left back position.
This time looking ahead for Metzger, too far. And the goalie will kick it in. Metzger's another guy who's been hustling all night long. And Tim Mulqueen wondering, thinking, should I go with more offense? When do I make that second sub?
Yeah, you saw that a moment ago, that little glance over his shoulder, looking back at his bench. And I suspect that, you know, if this result sticks to how it is 1-0, which I think it will, you know, you're probably going to see a Lagos Kunga or Adam Najim come off the bench. I'm not sure if Tim Mulqueen will want to put in Cam Lindley, who's logged so many minutes in such a short amount of time.
De Silva playing backwards to get some space, and he ran right into Mertz.
Tell you what, Robbie Mertz has been extremely impressive all night. He's got the one assist of the night, and he's done a lot of work, a lot of ground covering defensively, and he's been really tricky on the ball when in possession, as you saw moments ago him looking for Christian Valesky.
Here is De Silva again. They'll cross it over. They leave it for Epps. Epps looking for Metzger. Sends it behind. A quick shot knocked away off the foot of De Silva.
And that's the ball movement that you're going to need if you're not ONFC. It was great ball movement, some 1 and 2 touches, give and goes there. But once again, you see how strong Pittsburgh is defensively.
And Metzger is going to put it in the box. He's got De Silva, and the shot's knocked away by Peck. Frankie sends it ahead, and we got a whistle.
Looks like it'll be a corner kick for 901 FC. That was fantastic ball movement and a really nice strike from Pierre De Silva.
That was very organized and a really good chance. Adam Najim getting set to come in. So you called that one right, and that'll be a little bit more offensive-minded. Birch, I believe, just the second corner kick of the night, and this one goes through everybody.
It's a great corner kick, out-swinging ball from Mark Birch, but just nobody waiting on that back post in the corner of the 6.
Metzger plays it back and all the way into his own territory to Jeff Caldwell.
And you can see how quickly that went from a dangerous corner kick opportunity from 901 FC, and now they're all the way back deep in their own half.
Here is the cross, looking ahead, and they've got a man. And the counter would not go through. Too far, looking for Allen. A lot of excitement as Memphis has become the aggressor here. They've had some chances, but they haven't been able to make it pay.
Yeah, and that was a great ball and great effort from Mark Birch into the path of Josh Morton as Josh Morton was streaking down the line, and it looked like he was caught between two minds there, whether to strike the ball, look for that back post, or try to find Brandon Allen streaking at that back post.
Najim is coming into the game, and I'm checking to see who the substitution was for as Austin Pack puts it into play. It's De Silva who went out, Najim in, fresh legs.
This will be a huge opportunity for Adam Najim to step into this game and really be a spark plug and try to make some things happen, as Pierre De Silva has slid into that number 10, that attacking mid spot in place of Adam Najim, but De Silva played well but not able to get a lot of room.
Epps back to Paul, and there's the Mohamed Dabo, who was just in the game. Little hole, they call it. Epps. Right to Najim, and immediately he's knocked down.
Starting to see a lot of fouls called now, especially in this position right here. I think Mark Birch has had at least
I think Najim fell in his hand. It might be on his thumb.
Yeah, it might be on his thumb. He looks to be okay. As more physical play from Venky Azil just went right through the back of Adam Najim, and he had another free kick from Mark Birch.
And Birch got it to Doyle, and it just goes over the crossbar. That was another good look. The best looks this half have come from the Memphis side. There's Doyle, that big, tall, long gate he's got there, and he got up high, but it just wouldn't go in. One more look.
Yeah, really good service there as Liam Doyle was able to elude Joe Greenspan. Joe Greenspan looks like he lost that mark on that particular play, but Liam Doyle couldn't quite get over the top of that ball.
Allen, nice one touch to Epps. He tries to find some room. Najim keeps it alive. Paul will send it backward, and Memphis retains possession. Possession time has to be heavily favored by Memphis. They led it slightly at the half. Morton sends it ahead, looking for Najim, and just a bit too far.
Yeah, a little bit too far there from Josh Morton. It was a good look. He's looking for Najim streaking down the channel, but it's always going to be hard for 901 FC to just play that lump and go type of style. And as Joe Greenspan is so athletic and so fast, along with Thomas Benke-Azil.
Pittsburgh makes a change, and here comes a good player. Kennardo Forbes, 2 goals and 8 assists, our best assist man, will come into the game.
And that was a really strong performance there from Sammy Kasai.
It was.
Had a really physical game, but I tell you what, it's not going to get any easier for 901 FC. Is, in my opinion, Kennardo Forbes is Pittsburgh Riverhounds' best player, and the only reason he didn't start in this game, Dave, is because he's logged so many minutes and has also played on very recently in that Saturday game against Nashville, which was a 0-0 draw. But Kennardo Forbes is a very consistent player and extremely good going forward.
Sharpie let it go out. It'll be Memphis ball. Into the 74th minute. Memphis will get it. That went off of the Riverhounds. Sharpie will play it into the middle to Birch. Tim Mulqueen has one more substitution. When would you use it? J.J. Greer? Who do you think it'll be? Another offensive-minded player?
Oh, we would definitely need it to be an offensive-minded player. And the last 2 offensive players you have on your bench are Lagos Kunga and Cam Lindley. And you know, I'm not sure if Tim Mulqueen will want to use Cam Lindley in such a physical game like this after being on the bench all game. And Lagos Kunga is really a live wire type of player. So, you know, when should he come on is we're in a dangerous position here. Sharpie
sends it into that corner for Epps. Right back to Najim. Najim uses his body to shield. Nice play. Epps. And 1 past 2 minutes. They were looking for Najim. That was well defended.
Yeah, well defended. It's good play from 901 FC too, but just such good tracking from that man right there, Thomas Benke-Azil. So disciplined in their team shape. And, you know, to answer your question, Dave, you know, I think it's got to be, you know, at least probably within the next 5 minutes is when you make another substitution, or now even. It looks like Lagos Kunga has come off the bench for 901 FC. He's standing at the substitution table.
Doyle sends it ahead, and Brandon Allen with a nice header to Epps. Epps shields nicely, and then they double team him. And they called it. A little hole there. Memphis will put it into play. It'll be Doyle who triggers it in.
And as we've seen, Pittsburgh Riverhounds have no problem at all with taking those cheap fouls at midfield.
Well, there's no doubt this game is a lot different than the first one we saw. That first half dominated by Pittsburgh back in May when the rains came. And then, of course, the 4-0 game in Pittsburgh, it was very one-sided. This one play on a good set piece. Give Pittsburgh credit. Memphis has fought and played at their level this whole match.
Yeah, much different. Oh, what a touch there from Marcus Epps, but not quite able to take that ball down as Austin Pack corrals it. But this match right here, Dave, much different from the one played in May and that last tilt at Pittsburgh, the 4-0 match, the 4-0 loss to Pittsburgh Riverhounds at Pittsburgh. This game much more competitive as 901 FC. A lot of different players.
Here's Brandon Allen knocked away from him. I would really keep an eye on Marcus Epps too, because he immediately grabbed his hamstring after coming down oddly a little bit ago. Birch takes down the Pittsburgh offensive player who seems to be in pain. There's the ever-present Robbie Mertz, and it will be Riverhounds ball in a dangerous spot, as you like to say.
And it really heads up there from the young player. Robbie Mertz is not too far into his professional career, but that was a veteran move there. getting his body in front of Mark Birch. He knew Mark Birch was going to go down to ground and slide, and Birch was able to get in front of him and earn that foul call in a dangerous position here for Conrado Forbes, who is extremely dangerous on set pieces.
Forbes 2 goals and 8 assists on the year. Into the box, knocked away, and clear.
It's a dangerous ball there, served in, whipped in from Conrado Forbes, and it might have been Valesky who got on the end of it, but good defense in the end from 901 FC.
Unforced error there, Memphis ball. And here is Lagos Kunga. He'll come in for Marcus Epps. Now that is a luxury. You couldn't take out a guy like Epps when you had him even a month ago, 5 weeks ago.
Absolutely.
Now you got so many guys like Kunga, and you still got Graf on the bench.
Absolutely, and well, that'll be the third and final substitution for 901 FC. So they're going to have to make do with what they have on the field now. But you know, really a good substitution from Tim Mulqueen, as it looked like Marcus Epps might have picked up, as you said, maybe a little bit of a hammy or some type of injury. But I think that substitution might have been coming either way. Is a good performance from Marcus Epps, but Lagos Kunga's got fresh legs, and he'll be able to provide that energy and that really spontaneous action that he provides, and hopefully for 901 FC, you know, if they want to make the playoffs, be able to score some goals.
Birch does a good job of letting that go out, and they are checking Marcus Epps. You can see it right there. Hopefully that leg is okay. My point is, when you've got De Silva and Epps and Doyle now, you could just have so many pieces you didn't used to have, that you've got players that used to be important. You're coming off the bench with French legs.
Absolutely, and that's going to make a huge difference, as you already see Lagos Kunga starting to make a difference.
And here's Collier. That could have been off a hand, but no call. That looked a little different in there.
Yeah, it was
and
a
that
great,
would have been in the box.
Great combination there between Lagos Kunga and Elliot Collier, but maybe one touch too many from Elliot Collier, as you saw from Pittsburgh once again surrounding Elliot Collier with about 5 or 6 defenders.
Caldwell rolls it on over, and there's Bob Lilly just staying very intense.
Yeah, the last thing Bob Lilly wants in this game is for 901 FC to get back into it. They're still into it, but the last thing he wants is to concede a late goal, especially if he concedes, you know, within the next 5 minutes. That'll give 901 FC a lot of confidence to be able to go forward and win this game.
Ryan James will put it into play. First, there will be a substitution, and this will be Steven DeSantos. And now they're bringing in some big guns, Forbes and DeSantos. This is a 9-goal scorer right here with 4 assists. He's had 57 shots tops on the team, and he's only coming in now well rested because he played hard in that game on Saturday.
Absolutely, and you can see Steven DeSantos is a really big body, a really physical player at striker for Pittsburgh, and as you said, Dave, is more than capable of putting the ball in the back of the net.
And there's a foul call. And out on the ground, guess who? Leston Paul.
Yeah, Leston Paul just continuing to put his body on the line and being really crafty with earning those fouls.
They dare Doyle. He says okay. Metzger in the middle. Kunga sends it back.
It's good defense there once again from Pittsburgh. You saw how quickly Mo Dabo and some of the other Riverhounds defenders surrounded Lagos Kunga. They know he's dangerous, and they don't want him to get a full head of steam going forward.
Doyle again sends it backwards. Into the 82nd minute. Birch trying to find something. Collier turns it to Sharpie. Great heel from Najim. Looking for Elliott. Knocked away. Should be a throw in Memphis.
Once again, good combination play from 901 FC. You can see whenever they start to work that ball around and use 1- and 2-touch passes and have that third man running, they find themselves in really dangerous positions. But once again, give credit to Pittsburgh for bending but not quite breaking in defense.
And a chance for Birch and Memphis on a corner kick. Knocked away. Big body inside. And I believe that was DeSantos just in the game. Cleared it away.
Yeah, it was well done from Steven Dos Santos clearing that ball out, because Josh Morton was lurking directly behind him right on top of the 6-yard box, and it was going to be a really dangerous position for 901 FC.
Caldwell sends it ahead to Birch. Up the line and too far. Headed away. It'll be a throw in for Memphis. They want to work quickly. Here's Sharpie. Right back to Birch.
See a little bit more space now for Mark Birch to operate.
He'll send it in the middle. Metzger. Doyle chips it.
Whoa.
Nice play. Knocked away and no foul called. Najim was knocked down. Doyle's got it now. Collier with really a good job, and Najim is saying, I am not faking. He's still on the ground. Play is still happening, and Memphis has to knock it away in order for the referee to come over. Finally, Brad Jensen does. He is checking on Najim. And again, you said no substitutions left. This is the third, and let's take a look.
See, there's a good amount of contact there between Greenspan and Adam Najim, but it's hard to tell whether, Greenspan made the initial contact or if Najim made the initial contact. But Greenspan definitely made contact with Adam Najim's left foot, and that was definitely inside the 18-yard box, which would have been a penalty. But I think that's probably the right call from Brad Jensen to elect to play on there, and it's good to see Adam Najim back up walking around.
He is okay, and here comes Doyle. 6 minutes left in regulation time. Memphis still down 1-0. They really going toe-to-toe with a tremendous Pittsburgh Riverhounds team. 5th place in the East. Have only lost 4 games. Here's a chance in the middle. Kunga. No, couldn't get the shot off, and finally cleared.
Well done from Josh Morton to find Lagos Kunga in a dangerous position, as there's a lot of contact once again with Leston Paul just right in the middle of it.
Leston Paul really baited him that time. He just went under him and stayed there until there was a little bit more contact so he could go down. So here's Birch with the free kick. Kunga had a shot in there but just couldn't get enough space to kick.
Yeah, Lagos Kunga a little bit lax right there in the box. He needed to get that shot off quicker. There's not going to be time inside the 18-yard box to take 2 and 3 touches.
Leston Paul and Birch both measure. It'll be Birch. Here looking for Doyle and knocked away. That went off to Santos, and another corner kick for Memphis. Birch will put it into play. So close the last time. Here's another opportunity.
Absolutely. And 901 FC continuing to look for Liam Doyle, but he's 901 FC's tallest player, so he's going to attract the likes of Steven Dos Santos and Joe Greenspan on him.
Looking far post, goes through everybody. Here's Kunga. Chips it to the middle, knocked away. Collier will trap. Sends it back to, I thought he would send it back to Metzger. He didn't, and it's stolen away.
It's unfortunate right there that 901 FC could not get a shot on goal, as once again Lagos Kunga had the ball inside the 18-yard box, but couldn't quite decide whether to shoot it or whip that ball into the back post for a cross. And Pittsburgh does well once again to be able to earn the counterattack now.
And DeSantos looking for room, got knocked down, and there's the call.
You can see this tricky feet from Steven Dos Santos. He's a big lad, but with great feet. As saw the replay here, as Lagos Kunga was able to take a touch on the ball, but couldn't quite decide whether to shoot that on goal or cross, and ends up with not the greatest cross in the end.
Indecision. I think he was sort of trying to back up. It was costly. Here's Mertz. Time ticking on in the 87th minute. That time Memphis will get the ball back. Bob Lilly saying, just get back on D.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Bob Lilly has sat down for the entire game. Same with Tim Mulqueen. Is such an important match this late in the season for both teams, as Pittsburgh is trying to solidify their position in the 2019 playoffs and solidify home field advantage, and 901 FC trying to get into playoffs.
Metzger heads that, but no one's around except for Austin Pack, the goal.
It's going to take something special, Dave, with not much time left as time is dwindling down in this match. It's going to take something really special, probably some special 1v1 ability from one of the 901 FC players to try to get a goal in this game.
Caldwell will get it into play. So, got to give Pittsburgh credit. They have shut out the last 5 opponents. They've never had 6 straight clean sheets, and they're working on that right now.
And you can see exactly why. You know, they've shut out 5 straight opponents. They're just so good in defense, and not only are they good in defense, you know, they keep the ball nicely, and they're good offensively, and sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
2 minutes left in regulation.
You can see, you know, they just take advantage of, Pittsburgh takes advantage of every miscue on the pass as Nardo Forbes is into space now.
And Forbes sends it in the middle. And that was a break. He could have tried. I guess he felt possession was more important. Mertz again sets up. Kerr loses the ball. Here's Kuhn. Knocked away from Morton. Memphis ball.
See the physicality right here. The physical play is Mark Birch elected to stay on his feet, and Ryan James showing his athletic ability and goes up over the top of Birch, and it was a good thing that nobody was injured on that play.
That looks like it hurt, though.
I don't know if he's still working the ball around right now, but they're going to need to show a little bit of urgency, or not a little bit, a lot of urgency, as time is really running out in this game. And I don't think there hasn't been a lot of injuries, Dave, or a lot of, you know, yellow cards given. No. So there's probably not going to be a ton of stoppage.
I would guess about 2 minutes would be it. And they are taking chances. Doyle really tried to thread that up ahead to Collier, just couldn't get it through. Memphis' 4-game win streak in jeopardy now. And there should be a call. It is.
Yeah, once again, more physical play there, as the yellow card's finally going to come out, as Kevin Kerr, the captain for Pittsburgh, is going to get this yellow card.
That's the 2nd yellow card on Pittsburgh in the game. Doyle into the middle and Metzger.
And Kevin Kerr and Pittsburgh, they'll be more than happy with that yellow card. As some physical play there between Kevin Kerr and Wes Sharpie, but you see it's in the corner of midfield, so a good 65 yards away from their own goal as Pittsburgh once again regains possession.
Collier misread that play and the turnover. Doyle, oh boy, no call there. Here comes Kerr. No, they did call it. With DeSantos and Doyle going at it, there's like 2 defensive linemen.
Yeah, 2 really big guys. 2 really big guys there, and DeSantis wasn't pleased with it. He might have a case there. It looked to be kind of shoulder to shoulder, but DeSantis might have extended that elbow.
We're getting 4 minutes of extra time. Still 1-0. Pittsburgh on top. Memphis pressing. Caldwell will come out of the box.
4 minutes of stoppage time. Not a ton of time, but still enough for, you know, 1, maybe max 2 chances, 2 solid chances for 901 FC, and they're going to need to capitalize if they want to get a point out of this game.
Collier looking for the ball. Sharpie goes up and gets it. And Noah Franks clears it away. About a minute and a half going in the extra time. Well, they were trying to go to Brandon Allen and knocked away by Joe Greenspan, who's the hero. He's the only one with a goal. Now Forbes will kill some time to Ryan James. This was all about just taking as much time as you can. Metzger gets it into the goalie. Caldwell will put it into play.
You see Dan Metzger with no nonsense on that play, just literally shoving Ryan James out of the way and taking the ball once it was out of bounds, and really trying to get something out of this game and trying to spur Nine-1 FC to life.
More than halfway through the extra time. Here's Birch. Collier with a nifty move, then tripped. Still able to hold the ball and finally stripped away.
Yeah, a lot of contact there. Elliot Collier was trying to keep possession, but Pittsburgh, as you can see, starting to counter once again.
They were looking for DeSantos. Here is Franks, and here's a shot that will go wide. Fortunately, that time was a good look by Thomas Venkayazi.
You see Venky Azil coming all the way back from his center back position and found his way in the middle of the 18-yard box and had a great chance to score, but you can see that he's a center back and not quite as composed as Steven Dos Santos might have been in that same position.
Down to the final minute. Kunga races after the ball. Kunga with two on him, splits him, keeps it alive, still trying to force it to the middle. Finally knocked away by Ryan James.
You see Lagos Kunga trying to make something out of nothing there, and did a great job to get in that position, but you know, he had probably 2 or 3 chances to cross that ball into the box, but tried to take on Todd Pratzner, who's been so solid all game long. Tried to beat him 3 times, and in the end that allowed for more Pittsburgh players to come and steal that ball.
And Pittsburgh taking their time putting it into play. Tim Mulqueen not at all pleased with that call. Now they reverse it, and immediately into the box. Kunga tries to send it to the middle, cleared away by Greenspan.
You see Lagos Kunga showing his energy, showing his effort, continuing to drive the defenders, and this time tries to get service into the box.
And this may be your last attempt. We're after 4 minutes. Into the box. Here's Sharpie. Here's a save by Pack, and that may do it.
It looked like we had a foul called on that play. A lot of contact in there. Couldn't tell who Brad Jensen called that foul on, but we know there's a lot of contact inside the 6-yard box.
Pack will put it into play. We're past the 4 minutes. That was assigned. Austin Pack taking a long time before he kicks this ball. And that'll be it. It all came down to a set piece. Robbie Mertz from the corner with 14:40 into the first half. 6'6" Joe Greenspan got over Josh Morton, headed it past Jeff Caldwell, who never had a chance. The only scoring in the game. Memphis played on even terms this whole game with the Riverhounds. So lots of physical play and heady play, but in the end, that 4-game winning streak is over. Pittsburgh a winner here in Memphis over 901 FC. 1-0, that's your final. So long, everybody. Well, the streak is over. 4 games in a row comes to an end, but the Pittsburgh Riverhounds streak of now 6 straight clean sheets is still in order. They are now 15-4-10, and Memphis 901 FC 8-14-7. They stay on 31 points. Buff City Soap man of the match, Mark Birch, who is always so darn steady, keeps everybody in the game.
Yeah, Mark Birch, time and time again, had fantastic service and found guys wide open. And, you know, the 901 FC attacking front line and some of his own, his center back mate, Liam Doyle, you saw him get on the end of that header there. But Mark Birch had great service all night long, but unfortunately 901 FC was not able to get on the end of it.
Take a look at the final numbers in this game, and the one goal, 1440. 9 shots on goal for the, I should say 2 shots a goal, but 9-1 the shots. That's amazing. 56% of the time the possession went to Memphis. Look at all those passes. Memphis, they played darn close and on even terms with the 5th best team in the East.
Yeah, and it was, you see that 1 shot and 1 goal stood for Pittsburgh as they had a couple of more chances, it looked like, towards the end of that second half. But, you know, Memphis 901 FC once again not able to solve the Bob Lilly and Pittsburgh Riverhounds puzzle, as that's 2.5 games, really, 2.5 halves, I should say, that 901 FC has not been able to score against Pittsburgh.
Those stats brought to you by Memphis Area Rideshare. Crowd filtering out. They saw a lot of good, hard physical play, a lot of skill, but that's the one thing they didn't stop. Caldwell was terrific, but Greenspan and Mertz, that combination, Tim Mulqueen says, don't give up on us. We can still make the playoffs. 1-0, that's your final for J.J. Greer. I'm Dave Woloshin for the entire crew. So long from Memphis.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.